Welcome to Saturday Todgehammer Age of Sigmar edition. Today we've got the Slaves to Darkness against some Dispossessed, or Dwarden, or as I like to call them, Dwarves. So here we go. We are actually playing in Ghyran, and we rolled the Realm trait of Lifespring, which is actually lets you have +1 wound to one of your heroes. So we've done that. That's fun and exciting. We're playing the Total Conquest battle plan, which is 4 objectives in each quarter. Basically hold the objectives. If you take an objective from your opponent, you get an extra victory point, but pretty cut and dry. We're just gonna fight each other in the parking lot here. This is our battlefield. We have an objective in each quarter. Here you can see that one. Under that pile of warriors is another one. On this side over here, there's an open one. And then we have under that one, under the Iron Breakers, is another objective. So this is how we set up. We've got a unit of Longbeards, a Warden King, some Iron Breakers, Dwarf Warriors with great axes, Dwarf Warriors with hand axes and shields, some Thunderers, a Rune Lord, a Cannon, and an Unforged with his bare butt there. On the far side here, we have some Slaaneshi Demons. I think they're called Seekers. Then we have some Chaos Knights, some more Chaos Knights, a crazy looking named sorcerer guy with a baby Chaos Spawn. We've got a debut here for this War Shrine, which is Amazeballs. We've got this crazy looking Slaaneshi Chariot. We have some Demonettes here, a Sorcerer Lord, and some more Warriors. So this is how we set up. Going into Dwarves turn. End of Dwarf turn 1, pretty uneventful. We generally moved forward towards objective 1 here, and we did control this objective, but we just kind of stood fast here, waiting for the Chaos Worshippers to come to us. Moving is not our strong suit, but we are pretty dangerous over short distances. So we got 1 victory point at the end of Dwarf turn 1. The entire game type is if you hold an objective, you get a victory point. If you take an objective from an enemy, you get an additional victory point for taking that objective. So this is how we stand at the end of Dwarf turn 1. End of Slaves to Darkness turn 1. You're going to notice the gun crew of this cannon is gone. The Seekers tongue them to death. Not a very good way to enter Gazul's halls for these dwarves. But yeah, they died. Incredible movement out of those guys. They started behind that pillar, 2d6 on their run. They can still run and charge. Sashayed their way around the Unforgiven, skirted the spooky old tree here, still got into combat, so good for them. Murdered. Otherwise, there was just a general advance. The Knights moved forward around the edge. Needed a beefy 12-inch charge on these Warriors. Rolled, failed, re-rolled because of Slaanesh, failed. Hard luck there. But other than that, we just kind of moved forward towards the Dwarves. The right flank's looking a little bit scary on the Dwarf side at the minute with that spiky chariot with only a 1-armed whip guy or girl. And some Demonettes, a sorcerer, and some stuff. But this is where we stand at the end of Chaos turn 1. Chaos scored 2 victory points for holding both of their objectives going into the roll for the next turn. End of Dwarf turn 2. The Unforged charged, the Rune Lord charged, this unit of Warriors charged. They're really on the hill, but this movement tray is awkward. We haven't rebased yet. So, attacked the Seekers. The Unforged, who hates Chaos a lot, killed 3 outright. The Rune Lord and the Warriors then combined to kill another Seeker. And this last Seeker is going to get vengeance for her or his fallen brethren. I'm not sure which. It's androgynous. And other than that, we did get 2 victory points for being within 6 inches of that objective. And we're on top of that objective. So here's where we stand going into Chaos turn 2. End of Chaos turn 2. There was a charge made by these Knights. They proceeded to kill 2 Thunderers. These warriors are standing there pretty. They generally moved forward on the Dwarven left flank. And on the right flank, same story. It's about to get really not super fun in the next turn for these dwarves. But the story is, the Seeker was slain, did take 1 wound off the Rune Lord, but was killed in return by the Warriors and the Rune Lord's combined efforts. A wound was taken by these Thunderers. The Buttstocks snuck through and got a horse's knee or something, I'm not sure what. But 2 points for Chaos for being on their objectives. And this one is hotly contested, but the dwarves do have more units within 6 of the objective marker. So this is where we stand, and we're going to roll off to see who has the next End of dwarf turn 3. Everybody charged. The Chaos Knights elected the Unforged to attack first. He killed 3.8 Chaos Knights. He really hates Chaos, like a lot. Like a lot. Yeah, that's right. The red-haired naked man with 2 axes killed 3.8 Chaos Knights, so that was good. The last Chaos Knight was finished off by 1 rifle butt from the Thunderer unit before anybody else fought. But here's where we stand at the end of dwarf turn 3. We did use Ancestral Pickaxe on the Warden King and a unit of Ironbreakers. We will pop out at the end of our next movement phase where, I don't know, maybe on the same objective, maybe on that objective, maybe on that objective. Who knows, maybe on this objective. We don't know, but we're tunneling and we're gonna figure it out. So this is where we stand at the end of dwarf turn 3. We did get 2 more victory points and going into Chaos. End of Chaos turn 3. The Demonettes and this crazy chariot made a charge against the Longbeards. Ended up killing 14 of them in combat, and 1 Demonette was slain in return. So this chariot is no joke, nor are the Demonettes, but those tongues are kind of brutal, and the whips and the spikes and all of the scary things there. Not good. We did nail a 3 on our Battle Shock test, so we automatically passed. That was pretty helpful. But as a result, they did take, the Chaos guys did take, or girls I should say, the androgynous ones, did take that objective from us, so that's actually worth 2 VPs. Then over here, these Knights did make contact with this Warrior unit. They killed 5 in combat, and then 2 ran away in Battle Shock, and in return, the Dwarves killed 1 and hurt another one. So here is where we stand going into Dwarf turn 4. Well, maybe not Dwarf turn 4. The roll for turn 4, I should say. But that is 4 total points for Chaos out of this turn. End of Chaos turn 4. This Chariot of Doom and Destruction and these Demonettes killed the last of the Longbeards. There's been a grudging. So those Chaos Warriors move back towards that objective. Chaos holds that objective, and that objective over there. These Warriors fought the other Warriors, and the Chaos Warriors killed 2 mighty Dwarves, Warriors. We rolled a 3 on our Battle Shock, so we auto-passed. And in return, we killed 3 Chaos Warriors. So a decent showing from the boys with the great axes. But we're now, since I cursed us at the end of the last video, we're now actually going into the Dwarf turn. So here we go. 3 more points. Okay. End of Dwarf turn 4. Gonna go ahead and declare the MVP for the Dwarves as the Unforged. He tidied up the last Chaos Warriors there. Guy's a wrecking machine against Chaos. So did that, good, great success. We hold that objective. Over here, we used our Ancestral Pickaxe to bring out the Warden King and the Ironbreakers. They tunneled up against Sail and Nightmaw. The Ironbreakers made the charge, good for them. Took some wounds off of Nightmaw, took a couple wounds off of Sail. The Warden King is just standing there looking pretty. So we did take that objective from the Chaos. That earned us 2 extra victory points for a total of 3 this particular turn. And then over here, nothing happened. The Longbeards are dead. The Chaos Slaanesh Demons are doing unspeakable acts to their corpses. And over here, the Chaos Warriors are really holding that down. But here's where we stand going into turn 5. We're gonna roll off to see who goes next. End of Chaos turn 5. Sail and Nightmaw mauled the crap out of the Ironbreakers. Killed 7 of them. And then 6 ran away because somebody really shit the bed on a bravery test. So not good. But we did do some wounds back. We've got Sail down to 2, Nightmaw down to 4. They do this cool thing where Sail can take wounds for him. Sail also heals wounds. It's an intense, scary scenario, but we've got a knockdown drag out, but I still barely hold this objective. So here is where we stand. We've got most of the Dwarf army on one objective, a really well-painted War Shrine, Sail, Night Maul, some Iron Breakers, a Warden King. We're actually split on the objectives at the minute, so we're 2-2. And then we've got Sorcerer Lord, some Chaos Warriors, a Chariot of Death and Destruction, Spiky Death and Destruction, and some Demonettes over there. So this is where we are going into Dwarf turn 5. Game ends at the end of turn 5. End of Dwarf turn 5 and end of the game. Highlight here, we had the boys try to charge the War Shrine. The Rune Lord and these warriors made it in. Ended up taking a total of 7 wounds off that beast. He then turned around and halved the Rune Lord's health. No joke with those clubbing fists and legs and all of the extra beefy ogre, troll, chaos appendages. So not a joke. Over here, the Warden King made a charge against Sail and Nightmaw, I think is his name. And Warden King did what Warden Kings do and killed both of them with the split attack. So that was fun. And here's where the game ends. The dwarves hold the left portion of the board, at least from this view. Got 2 points for that. The followers of Chaos held these two with authority. And the game ended up 11 victory points for Chaos to 10 victory points for the dwarves. So awesome game, knockdown, drag out. Dwarf right flank absolutely brutalized. Dwarf left flank, I'm not going to say brutalized, but we did a little better over here. We at least had models left. So great game, Chaos victory. I mean, I'd hope so with this giant stone Octed. But hey, great game.